baby's kind of bouncing in there. A little one. Hand up over the head.
It's so cute that they're so little and that like
and you can see that.
like there's a hand.
Uh-huh. You can see individual fingers. It's
Uh-huh.
crazy. Get a little crown rump length once I get the baby kind of stretched out here. A little hand. Whoop. And there. Well, now you're moving. Hand on the face. Aw. There, that's a good crown rump length. Alright. So top of the head. Down to the butt.
My measurement is so different every time. Is that
I know.
normal?
Yeah, I watch. I'm gonna measure it now, and because baby just curled up, and it's gonna be.
Well, because my period was
2 days off from there.
my period was, no, I got off birth stool so messed up, so they
Uh-huh.
had to guesstimate, so it could be a week off or.
Whenever I don't know when we're involved with evaluating what the true due date really is. If your period was guessed, we usually go by the ultrasound.
So that's, I mean, the ultrasound's off about a week not a week, about like 6 days.
Yeah. So then we throw out the date that was based on your period if it wasn't an exact. Because even if women know exactly, when their period started, not everybody ovulates at day 14. There's a lot of assumptions in there. So, yeah. So I'm consistently getting 12 weeks, 2 days today, which is 4 days of difference. So, all right, little baby. Let's look at this. Let's look at this little hemorrhage. Line up on your whole uterus here.
So these aren't common, I mean, but when they do happen, they usually subside in the second trimester. Normally.
Yeah, just gradually. You'll pass some, and I'll show you. So this is your whole uterus here. This is your cervix down here, and this is that blood that's in that. It's kind of a pocket back here behind babies up here.
Is it always in the bottom?
Mm-mm. Sometimes it's at the very top, but you'll still pass some vaginally. Not all women pass any old blood vaginally. Sometimes it just sits in there and gets smaller on its own. Sometimes you'll pass some of it and the rest will go away gradually.
Well, I kind of wish I was bleeding more. That sounds bad. But
No.
I know, like, the more you bleed, the more it's clearing out. So, like, me not bleeding very much, like, once every 4 days in the smallest amount, I'm like, oh, I feel like it's just sitting in there.
So when you say you're bleeding, is it old blood or is it bright?
Both.
Both, okay. Because old blood, that's great. You're just getting rid of what's sitting in there.
It's
But
such
if it's
a small amount,
if it's
though.
bright, that tells me that it's still like there's some active bleeding in there. So I'd rather you tell me it's
Well,
all
it's like,
old.
I mean, I probably am it's not like bright red, but it's like yesterday it was like a brownish.
Yeah.
But it was the smallest amount. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even almost need to
Yeah.
wear anything. It just.
Mhm. Yeah.
And they'll be able to compare if it's grown or.
Yeah, I need to go back out and look again because the images I looked at didn't show this. I must have been looking at one earlier than the one that they found.
It was at Fruta Hospital and it was on Monday.
I won't see their pictures.
How will anyone see them? Or
We probably won't.
would I have to have my OBG contact them to release them or?
I could call out there and have them push the images, but to be honest, it's not going to make any difference. They don't necessarily need to know that it's looks a little different than it did last time. They really are going to base everything on what it looks like today.
I just want to know if it was growing or if it's.
Yeah. Hello, baby. Let's get your little heart rate if you'll hold still for me.
At the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the pelvic floor thing, not pelvic floor, pelvic rest.
Oh,
What is that? What is the risk of not doing pelvic rest? Like what could too much straining do?
talk to Dr. Zaretsky
Okay.
when you meet with him. He will have the answers to all those things. You are too cute, baby. There. Print that one for you.
Is that the face?
Yeah.
Hilarious. Like little aliens.
Little skeleton baby. There's the 2 hemispheres of the brain.
I want Dad to come to some of these appointments.
Yeah.
He's always working, but he's like, I see the videos. I was like, it's not the same as in person.
Yeah. Photogenic little baby.
And I know it's a boy, but you can't see the stuff
Mhm.
until way later on, huh?
We can see it, and we can kind of guess based on, they call it the angle of the dangle. 'Cause boys and girls both have a bump, and the boys is more vertical and the girls is more horizontal. So I'll look at it here in a second and see. Whoa, hold still. So what do you have now, boys, girls? What
I
kind
have
of
2
mix?
girls and a boy,
Okay, nice.
so I'm super happy it's a boy.
Yeah. Throw some color on the umbilical cord. Beautiful.
Ultrasounds are so crazy that they can do this. I can't
Yeah.
imagine like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
If you were
Just
having
had- just had a
placenta
baby.
previa, you would just die.
Right.
That sounds awful,
Oh yeah.
but
Women died in childbirth all the time 100 years ago.
you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know.
No epidurals, oh my goodness.
Let's see if I can see his boy part. Yeah, see, it's this right here, and it's more upright. This isn't the perfect angle, but nasal bone here. If you move your hand, that's the left arm. And the right arm. That's the one doing the drama pose.
So cute. What is that?
That's that fluid space, the nuchal translucency behind the baby's head. Did you talk to the genetic counselor?
No.
Oh.
Yes. I didn't understand what that was.
So what we do is you've already had the best genetic screen we have, that blood test that told you gender.
Yeah.
But we also do an ultrasound genetic screen, and before we had that test, this was one of the most common ones where we look for an abnormally thickened fluid space back here. This is a nice small fluid space, so I'm
Okay.
just measuring it, showing that it's nice and normal. But some babies will have like a big bubble back there, and we still do it. We still do this, even though, like I said, you had the better genetic screen, because what they found inadvertently is that sometimes when there was a thickened nuchal translucency, that space, babies ended up having heart issues.
Oh.
So certain kind of heart defects go along with that being thick. And we only look at that space between 11 and 14 weeks.
Oh.
Because after that it's not, or before that it's not If it's big, it doesn't necessarily correlate with anything, but during that time, if it's thick, it can. Your baby's is nice and normal, like I said, but even when we do see them thick, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong. But to see it thin, and then right there I got the baby's nasal bone, that's another genetic marker that if we see the nasal bone, that's very reassuring, and I can see your baby's nasal bone.
Okay.
So, look at the legs.
Are those the little limbs all crossed up?
Yeah, the
So
legs are
cute.
crossed, yeah. And then boy part in the middle right there.
So that's a penis.
That's it.
That's hilarious. The tiniest penis in the world. That's so
That's
cute.
it. Right leg. And left is crossed the other way. See if I can get it this way. Now you're gonna move it, aren't you? Yeah. He's on the move.
And I wonder when I'm gonna start feeling him move.
The placenta's in the front, so maybe not for a while. It usually kind of acts like a cushion when you have an anterior placenta like that.
I think my placenta's been in the front almost every pregnancy.
I think the theory is that sometimes there's certain parts of your uterus that has better blood supply, and so the placenta migrates to that.
Maybe some muscle memory too.
Yeah, maybe.
So go back to your
Maybe.
home.
Yeah. My comfort place. Alright, that looks good. I want to see where the cord attaches to the placenta. Looks like it's right there. Yep. Got a baby that's cruising in there now. See if I can get a little 3D.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that wild? It's just fun to watch him wiggle around. Hello.
Where's the legs?
If they weren't in the box.
Oh, okay.
I
I was
have
like,
to have
are there
them. I have to
legs?
have them in the box. It's hard to get every part. Then if I do that, I'm gonna cut off the top of the head. So make the box bigger. They just fold it up if I go that way, and it's just hard. 3Ds are hard.
It's just even crazy that this was a thing.
You get little glimpses of them. They're crossed there, but then yeah, then I moved it too far and got rid of the baby's head.
I love the 20-week one where you can get like a profile view.
Yeah. The profiles are still the best. I'll give you this. I don't want that. I want that. Just zoom it in. There's a nice little profile. So we're right in the middle. That's why you don't see arms, because I'm only taking the picture through the middle of the baby.
Okay.
If I come off to the side and get an arm, then you don't see the head. And then go the other way. There's the other arm in the middle. Then you get the center of the baby. Cutie. How old are your other kids?
8, 2, and 1.
Okay. So the 8-year-old, is that a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Okay.
She's a brat, but she helps.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I had to get her ready for school, and she was like dressing the 2-year-old and doing her hair. You know,
Oh,
makes her
good.
breakfast. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Looks like you ovulated from your right ovary.
How do you?
So when you ovulate, where the egg comes from, a little cyst forms, and then as you get farther along, this is what's left of that little cyst. It's in the inside of your ovary.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So there's a good picture of. This is the whole ovary. So this is kind of what normal ovarian tissue looks like. These are little follicles, and then this whole area is that what we call the corpus luteum. If I put color flow on that, usually you get, we call it the ring of fire, because it's got blood flow all around that So that corpus luteum is what makes you have morning sickness. The HCG hormone comes from that. So we'll go look at your left side and I'll show you the difference. Sometimes the one you didn't ovulate from is actually hard to find because it's just quiet. Let's see, I think it's way up here. Yeah. So this is your left ovary here.
Oh wow.
So it looks different than the other side.
So it says I'm measuring 12 weeks, 2 days,
Uh-huh.
and then the last ultrasound was 11 weeks, 5 days.
Yeah, we kind of leave it up to your OB
Okay.
to change due dates unless we are way off from what you came in here with. We just leave it.
Well, I always get induced a week early,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that, and I always want to make sure I'm actually 39 weeks.
Right. Well, that's exactly right. That's why it does make a difference because 38 would be obviously different than 39. Okay.